Hi, Shalom Chaverim. Have you ever had a fantasy of someone coming and giving you a wish? Someone telling you, wish for what you desire and it will be fulfilled? I know I've heard growing up of three wishes, and there's always the dying man's last wish, which never seems to come true. Because, as they say humorously, they once asked a condemned man, "What's your last wish?" And he says, "I'd like to die of old age." Well, obviously, they did not fulfill that wish to him. But actually, this is not only a fantasy, it actually happened. It happened a long time ago. And it happened with a very young man who became a king of Israel. Think to yourself, go through Jewish history. Who do you know as a very young man who became king of Israel, who God came to him and said, "Ask what you want and I will fulfill it"? Okay, I'm sure you have the right answer. It's King Solomon. He became a king in the lifetime of his father David, at the age of 12 actually. And shortly thereafter, he brings many sacrifices to the Almighty God. And his sincere desire is to walk in the path of his father David. And the Almighty God comes to him in a dream and says, "Ask me for a request, and I will fulfill it." And what this young king asks for is, "Almighty God, I'm a king over multitudes of people, and I'm young. Give me a wise and an understanding heart, so I should be a righteous, benevolent, good king." I mean, this is awesome. He didn't ask for security from his enemies. He didn't ask for riches. He didn't ask for influence. He didn't ask for fame. He didn't ask for good health. He asked to be a good king based on understanding. It seemed that this request even impressed the heavenly court. And the Almighty God said, "Because you did not ask for riches and fame or wealth, I'm going to give them to you as a package deal. And I will give you an understanding heart and a measure of divine wisdom that has never been equaled since." And so we have that King Solomon, who was both rich and famous, was the wisest man of all people on earth. Now, it's a great story. Truly, and it happened. I have no doubt that it actually happened. But what's the lesson for us? Of the many lessons, there's one that stares you straight in the face. You want a blessing? If someone gave you the blessing of long life, okay, long life and good health, okay, so you don't have to worry about ending the days of your life decrepit. Essentially, you will be healthy and active as an 80-year-old should and can be. Would that really be such a great blessing? What happens if you don't know how to fill your day? What happens if you have a miserable neighbor? What happens if you're living through a war? Is that what we would consider a great blessing? Okay, well, how about wealth? Is wealth always such a great blessing? Doesn't it come with a fair amount of anxiety and doubt and uncertainty? Do people like me, or do they like my money? Doesn't it come with certain family issues? Sometimes children will say, "Why should I work? Dad has the money anyway." Look around, you'll see all of the wonderful blessings that exist need something to contain them. And probably the most powerful container is wisdom. The wisdom to know how to live a productive life. The wisdom to know how to allocate wealth. The wisdom to know how to accept fame and recognition. Yes, my friends. We have in our prayers every single morning, we have actually 18/19 blessings. The first of the personal request is, Ato chonen lo'adam das, Almighty God, you bestow knowledge. Please bestow upon me wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. When was the last time you thought about that? Well, I should have thought about it today, early in the morning. And I will be reminded about that blessing of wisdom in a couple of hours when I pray the afternoon service. And when the day is over and I'm home, I will say it again. Please, God, give me wisdom. Bestow upon me an understanding heart. King Solomon, when he asked for the understanding heart, was given all, because there was no one more worthy of all of these blessings. There's a charming story in the Talmud of a very brilliant and pious rabbi, Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania. He had every quality except for one. He was not very good looking. And I suppose that would be an understatement. But he was a person that flowed with wisdom. So the Talmud relates a story that there was a princess who was very impressed with the rabbi's knowledge, but couldn't make peace that he was so not good looking. So she challenged him. I know it wasn't politically correct, but when you're a princess who lives 2,000 years ago, you could get away with these things. And she challenged the rabbi, and she said, Rabbi, such beautiful wisdom in such an ugly vessel. How do you explain that? And he did not get upset and merely asked the princess, your father has wine? Oh, yes, a very large wine cellar. Very good wine. What does he keep the wine in? In jugs. So the rabbi innocently asked her, such fine wine in such a humble container? Don't you think your father, who's fabulously wealthy, should store the wine in decanters of gold? And this brilliant girl thought, why not try that? And sure enough, she goes down and she gives the royal fellow who's in charge of the wine, transfer all of the wine into gold vessels. Months passed, and the king asked for some wine, and it was poured out, and as soon as he put it into his mouth, he spit it out. It's like vinegar. It doesn't taste good. There's a metallic aftertaste. What's going on over here? And he calls for the royal butler, who immediately blames the princess. It's not my fault. She told me to put it into gold. So when the father questions his daughter, she said, it's not my fault. The rabbi who's so brilliant gave me this idea. Now, this clearly was not playing out normally. So he had heard of the reputation of this brilliant rabbi and had him brought before him. And here's the king or the prince with his daughter and this brilliant, awe-inspiring rabbi. And the prince says, did you tell my daughter that she should put wine in gold? He says, no, I never said that. I merely remarked when she asked me, how could God give such wisdom in a body of mine, such precious commodity in such an ugly vessel? I suggested that she look at wine. Wine is very precious, but it actually keeps best in a humble vessel. The king understood, the princess understood, but to her credit, she remarked, but Rabbi, isn't it possible to be wise and understanding and good-looking? To his response was, yes, it's certainly possible, but were they not to have been good-looking, they would have been even wiser. And the commentaries talk about that, and they actually mention that the rabbi never had anything against good-looking men, certainly not. What the rabbi was merely pointing out was when vanity becomes a goal in itself, then wisdom gets lost. But if you're a wise person and wisdom is something that you aspire to, and beauty is a byproduct, then that would be fine. That would be a good vessel. So my message to you today is rather simple. We're beautiful people inside and out. We were blessed with minds that inquire and think. There's nothing more precious than wisdom. Go to your nearest Chabad house. Open up the nearest Jewish book that you have. It's filled with wisdom. Find a teacher, male or female. Find a teacher. You will find that every blessing in your life will be enhanced. And finally, we conclude with our traditional blessing. May the Mashiach come. And when the Mashiach comes, we are taught that all people will become wise and understanding in the way of God, and the Jewish people will be exceedingly wise. Shalom.